Hey everybody, this is Hal Raines. I'm glad you're here to take a look at our show with us. And we're going to talk about quite a few things today actually. Underglazing, slip trailing, chattering, sgraffito and carving, and then for me really importantly, a wall hanging foot. So with that, we're on our way to underglazing, which is the first part of our list. You've seen me work with underglaze before. You know that a lot of it is layering to get the right colors, the right textures. And with our first piece, the wide mouth base, you can see that's exactly what I'm working on. The theme for this show, for me anyway, is St. Patrick's Day. So lots of greens, golds, browns. When you underglaze, you know it's really about layering. And even though you think you're finished, sometimes you're not. So I'm going to go right into slip trailing. I use a ZM applicator and they're purchasable almost any place they sell art supplies. So at this point I'm just putting some white dots in there, and those are underglaze. So you can see what that guy looks like with just that. And I'm going to go around the rim. Remember I told you I was going to use some golds. Well, this is a dark umber gold, and I'm going to use it inside and basically just remind you of what I'm using, and it's the ZM applicator. So you can see this is me just basically bringing the color in, blending them together to make it more uniform, okay? The second piece we're going with today is just simply a shallow bowl, and I just am dumping the underglaze on it and using a brush to smooth it out for coverage. Yeah, once I've got the coverage right, then I just go back to the slip trailing. And at this point I'm going to use the same brush that I did earlier because I want some different color techniques and the effects overall. I'm going to use a small red rib just for chattering. I love the looks of chattering, and you can do it a lot of different ways. There are chattering tools. You can use a bent over, a hacksaw, so many different ways to do it, but this is one of my favorite, just bouncing a rib. See, it looks pretty great, right? So I'm using a brush at this point just to thin out that area of underglaze that I used. And I want to put a couple different lines on there so it'll help me be more uniform, putting my slip trails on there. Sgraffito and carving are pretty similar. Actually, with sgraffito, you're carving through a surface that's, you know, glazed over or underglazed or has had slip applied. You know, there are a lot of different ways to, color the surface of your work. Maybe you've been carving through wax, a wax resist, or some other medium that's going to help you temper and give you an interesting result. Now carving, you're just actually chunking into the regular clay that's just there and bare naked. So that's the difference really. One is you're just carving through a medium to get to the clay. And then with carving, you're actually carving right into the raw clay itself. So this is a diamond tool. I find it to be really helpful. The little beak that's on it is sharp. Ooh, it's really sharp. So if you like clean lines, you're gonna love this tool. It's on the pricey side, but once in a while they have specials. You just need to go online and look for them. If you sign up for their newsletter, you'll get a discount from time to time. So I'm just going to fill in with some spots. I like the layering all together. So I'm using the white underglaze with the ZM application tool again. Kimper tools are among my favorites, but you can use a lot of different things. They don't necessarily even have to be pottery tools. Our final segment today is trimming a foot. Trimming a foot on a piece that's going to hang on the wall. And start trimming the profile on the outside to match the inside. It's always important to compress the base of the pot so you don't get cracks. If you're going to hang a piece on the wall, it's even more important. Remember earlier I told you that a lot of times you can use tools that aren't necessarily designed for pottery. So you just saw me use a cherry pitter. And cherry pitters, although you'd think it's a little unconventional to use for pottery, it has a nice way of getting under the very edge and actually giving you a lip that you can, stick onto the wall and anchor the piece because it does catch the head of the screw or the nail that you're using. And when I press it over like that, using the rib and the fingers to compress the edge a little more, it gives you something to hold on to and it makes it substantial. So I'm using a ZM tool again, and underglaze, especially purple and lavender underglaze, I love them. So do I need to do it? No. Do I like to do it? Yes. Do people comment on it? Yes. So the more you can do to make your own work speak your voice and what you enjoy, the more sellable your pieces are. I'll show you the piece when I get finished doing the underglaze and the dots and any carving, because I do all of that on the outside of the piece because I did it on the inside. You can see that the techniques are just the same. I just use them in different ways. By now you know what I'm looking for, you know what I'm looking at, and I will tell you, there's no secret to this. It's just practice and having fun and deciding what you want the piece to look like. A lot of artists starts with sketchbooks. For me, personally, it's hard to use a sketchbook because I find myself being bound too much, and I prefer the spontaneity. If you're interested in more information, you can always reach me at halrains@sbcglobal.net. You can follow me at halrainspottery.com or friend me on Facebook. Thanks for visiting.